Early skyscrapers were built predominantly in the cities of New York and Chicago during the late 19th century, due to the increase of urban land development and the economic boom after the Civil War. Technological innovations such as the iron skeleton, the safety elevator, and electric lighting, a safer and more efficient alternative to gas lamps, were introduced in the mid-19th century. This array of new technologies allowed the construction of taller structures. New York's first skyscraper to incorporate an iron frame was the Tower Building. Situated on Broadway and Morris Street, just north of Bowling Green, the Tower Building was designed by architect Bradford Gilbert. Born in 1853, Gilbert was the son of a civil engineer. He opened his private practice in 1882 in New York City. A prolific railroad architect, he produced the previous design of the Grand Central Terminal in 1898. His extensive work for railroad companies would later influence his design of the Tower Building. The proprietor of the Tower Building, John Noble Stearns, a silk importer, commissioned Gilbert to design an 11-story office building utilizing typical bearing wall construction. But due to the narrow plot, the ground floor would have limited square footage because thicker walls were needed to support the immense load of the floors above. Gilbert pondered over the issue for several months and finally conceived the idea of a railroad bridge flipped on its vertical. The iron girders and diagonal bracing beams were to support each level independently, thus eliminating the need for massive bearing walls. Construction began in 1888 and completed in 1889, reaching a modest height of about 158 feet with a heavy masonry Beaux-Arts Romanesque facade and a tall arch entrance. Massive granite blocks were used to bear the downward thrust of the superstructure's iron support columns. Situated between traditional 3- and 5-story buildings in its early existence, it would be overwhelmed by taller and grander structures in the rapidly developing city. The Tower Building was demolished in 1914. Located on the corner of Broadway and John Street, the Corbin Building was built from 1888 to 1889. It was designed by architect Francis Hatch Kimball as an office building for Austin Corbin, a railroad executive and notorious robber baron. The 9-story tower, designed in Romanesque revival, is a narrow 20 feet wide that extends over 160 feet on John Street. The structure features a stone base with a brick and terracotta ornamented facade and Gustavino tiled interior vaulted ceilings. Francis Kimball was born in Maine and apprenticed as a carpenter in his youth. After studying architecture in England, Kimball moved to New York and began to practice in 1879. He was a pioneer in the use of terracotta ornamentation in the United States, evident on the Corbin Building and on the Montauk Club in Park Slope. Kimball utilized different materials to set apart the upper 5 stories from the lower 4, brick and terracotta for the former, and brownstone below. The incorporation of Gustavino tiles in the structure was a significant development in building technology. The tile system was patented in 1885 by Spanish architect and builder Rafael Gustavino. His system provided self-supporting structural arches and vaults that used interlocking terracotta tiles and layers of mortar to form a skin. Its structural properties allowed the combination of large floor loads, and the components are standardized for ease of construction.